AFK discussions starts now.
Yo, welcome back to another edition of AFK Discussions. I think Phil was going to do it, but I jumped in there first. I saw his mouth open, and I was like, no, it's my turn. No. Welcome back. Check out fattack.com wherever you shop for Fat Tack gear, which is fattack.com. Guys, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, you know the drill. Go there, like us, subscribe, all that good stuff. Phil, dude, it's been 2 weeks. Where have you been, dude?
I know it's been a long time. Been a little bit of a break. Foreign Teen Fest has gone and been. It feels like forever since that happened. That went really well. Did a presentation on the Bridgewater Triangle, so that was awesome. Other than that, just kind of catching up on some exploring with Phill things, kind of releasing some shorts. Opus Clip is kind of like my new best friend, as it is, I think, Jason's new best friend. So I think I've been experimenting with that lately. Other than that, just keeping busy and just always busy. So,
cool.
Yeah. What about you? What about you? I mean, the episodes, Opus Clip, are they a sponsor?
They sponsor us. Yeah.
If they're not a sponsor,
yeah,
I'm still going to use your product, but you should really highly consider using us as a advertiser because I love your products. Yeah. No, they're great.
Yeah.
Awesome program. But yeah, I mean, the episodes you released since I've been out have been absolutely awesome. So, I mean, even when I'm not here, the episodes have been awesome. So big shout out to all the different people you had on these last 2 weeks, because must listen podcast. Absolutely. But before I get yapping on, because I feel like I haven't been on in 2 weeks and I feel like I just have to talk because I've been gone so long. What about you? How you been?
Been good, man. Been good. Doing my thing, working and I don't know, just working and being a dad, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I guess you weren't expecting the "how are you doing" question.
Yeah, I wasn't.
You didn't have an answer. Yeah, I don't know how I'm doing.
Well, I started doing calisthenics and I got really ripped. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. How's the new job going? I know that's like somewhat new for you, so you know.
Yeah, I love the new job. It's the best place I've ever worked. And the only bad thing, there's one bad side, is they love to eat there. And I get invited to some like free dinners and they have free food trucks. So I've gained some weight since I started working there, and I really need to shed the poundage back.
Yeah.
And it's so hard because, all the food's free and it's right there,
Dude, no, that I could see, especially if it is free and you're like, well, I mean, because you could always make the argument, well, I'm saving money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, you're technically saving money, so you're not even buying your own lunch, blah, blah, blah. So it's like, and you get caught up in that, whatchamacallit. And this is my favorite comment by far. What is this stream about? Jason, why don't you tell everyone what AFK Discussions is all about?
Oh, really? You don't? So if you have never listened to AFK Discussions, you're in for a treat. AFK Discussions goes beyond your average discussions. It goes to your away from keyboard discussions. Like when you're at the water cooler with your friends at work and you're just sitting around and you're like, hey, man, what do you think about UFOs? Oh, yeah. Bro, I never really thought about that. Didn't like the government say something about UFOs could possibly be real? That's the AFK Discussions. It's your away from keyboard when you're at work or when you're playing video games and you want to just start talking about weird stuff. That's what it is. That's what we do. We just usually have guests. Sometimes we Phill and I just get on here and chit chat, which is tonight's episode. We're just going to talk about, some supernatural news, some stuff that's happened with some past guests, and just kind of catch up. So, yeah, this is AFK Discussions. Thank you for checking us out.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's always good to have new watchers, listeners, depending on how you're consuming this, podcast. But yeah, AFK Discussions. I've been on AFK for like the past year. I know Anti Nintendo is definitely from Exploring with Phill, so he's definitely new to my channel as well. So probably his first time seeing the stream in general. But yeah, we do a weekly podcast every single week talking about a bunch of other different things. And
Yeah.
I mean, as always here, right in the beginning,
Yo.
she is the best, absolute best. And when we do a Pennsylvania paranormal trip, also this summer, I'm trying to con Jason into doing. We're talking off air, and go behind the curtain here.
That's
I
right.
was trying to convince him to be like, "Hey, August 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, keep those dates open because I want you to be somewhere."
Oh,
It's a little bit of a tease. A little
you
bit
know
later,
what?
you have something already that's
Yeah,
those
remember
dates.
August 3rd is Squashella in Nashville with the confessionals and um blurry creatures and expanded perspectives, ninjas or butterflies. So I'm supposed to be going there
Killer,
to work that. So it's a
killer.
possibility.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see. Well, you never know. You never know. Maybe it'll be a sponsored investigation. I don't know. That's just something.
Oh man,
Um, and the Dover
dude.
Demon is definitely something I've been wanting to get uh do. I don't know. I'm trying to remember where the exact Dover Demon story is exactly which Dover is talking about,
It's
but
in
I always
Dover.
forget. Yeah, I know that. What is it, Dover? You want to look that up real quick? Because I'm
I
not even
am.
sure. Because
I'm
there's a
on it.
Dover in New Hampshire. I believe there's a Dover in uh Maryland, maybe. That's probably more than that as well. I don't know which
Masses.
one it was.
Mass.
It is Massey.
Yep.
So you know what it is? It's a North Shore thing. It's outside the Bridgewater Triangle. So yeah, okay. Interesting. Yeah. I'll have to look into that and I'll do a whole video on that. So yes, I will. I'll look into the
So
legend, I'll
you can
research it,
go,
and I will do it.
you can do the legend, and then we'll come back together and we'll talk about it.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And with legends like that, you'd be surprised. I mean, kind of like the Red-Headed Hitchhiker one I did, it's kind of like you don't really expect much and then you actually get some evidence that goes along with it. So, yeah, the Dover Demon. Interesting. Cool stuff.
So
All
I
right.
I don't know much about the Dover Demon. Do you know anything about it? I always
Not a
go ahead.
lot.
When I
No,
think
not a
Dover
lot.
Demon, I think of something akin to the Jersey Devil. I don't know if that's similar or not.
To be honest with you, I've been told the story or seen it on TV like once or twice, but it's been so long that I don't want to say anything because I don't really remember, to be honest with you.
I
But
got you.
but it sounds familiar though, as far as what you're saying. I bet it's probably very similar. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's an imp type creature or something that's just running across the road.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting. I'm gonna have to really look into that because that would be a cool video to do for sure. And Dover, Massachusetts, is like middle of nowhere too.
Mm.
Um, it's like a really small town. So,
So how far
oh,
is that from the Pine Barrens of New Jersey? Because you guys are kind of close in proximity, right?
New Jersey and Mass. Yeah, New
Yeah.
Jersey and Massachusetts is probably depending where in New Jersey. 5 hour drive depending on traffic.
Okay.
6 hour drive maybe. A little
So not
distance
that
away.
close. Not that close.
Nah, not close enough to be probably the same entity. I wouldn't think.
Okay.
But yeah, we do have a huge shout out from one of our bros, Kevin from Where the Weird Ones Are. Just giving the old wave. I mean, classic dude. I actually saw him at Foreign Fest, and I bought some of his hot sauce, which I eventually will try on a Phill Tries Things eventually when next time I do a Phill Tries Things. So shout out to Kevin for being an awesome guy, making great hot sauce, and being an awesome guy. I know I said that twice. It doesn't matter. He's an awesome guy times two.
I love hot sauce. I need to get some of that. Seriously, I love
No,
hot
dude,
sauce so
you
much.
definitely highly recommend. Kevin has two different ones. One's like a blueberry one. That's kind of like a more mild one. And the other one, oh my God, I'm blanking on it. I want to say it's mango, but I don't want to be wrong. I can't remember now. I remember the blueberry specifically, and it's sitting right on my counter. It's right next to it. Kevin knows. Kevin's going to tell me. Let's see. I'm amazing times two. I know. And now I'm forgetting the other hot sauce, so I'm not as amazing.
You need to make a hot sauce called Exploring with Hot
Wh-
Sauce
Oh,
in honor of
I
Phill.
like it. I like it. I like it. And I do like hot sauce. Lemon. Yes, Kevin. Thank you. And it's literally sitting on my counter, so I can't believe I couldn't remember it. But lemon, yes, that's what makes it unique. A lot of people I don't think have seen a lemon hot sauce, let alone a blueberry one. So
Yeah,
that's what
I've
makes
seen
them
blackberry,
unique.
but I don't think blueberry. But lemon
Yeah.
sounds like I'm thinking like lemon pepper or like like a lemon garlic hot sauce, but I've never had like a lemon garlic butter that's got a little kick to it. That's what I'm thinking. But this sounds like maybe more like a actual hot sauce with lemon in it. So I don't know.
Yeah.
You got me very intrigued right now. I want to try it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So, very interesting. I'm excited. We have I would say a hodgepodge episode here. We just got a hodgepodge of episodes. We just more of like a catch up, just because we haven't really talked to each other. It feels like it's been forever since I've been on the pod again. So it's like trying to learn how to swim again. And
I
in
know,
my
man.
case, I don't know how to swim. So you can imagine how challenging it is for me.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I have a couple of updates before we get into the craziness of our conversation. So first off, I don't know if you guys remember whenever I had the friend from soccer say, hey, there's been some weird stuff happening in my property. So I took my GoPro, went out there and walked around the woods and filmed and found some interesting tree structures and possibly some weird hair, and also some weird holes in the ground and rocks with like divots like bored into them, which was really strange. So he contacted me last week and said, yo, there's some weird stuff going on. Check out this video. So he sent me a video and I went in and I boosted the audio. I'm going to try to play it now. Hopefully everyone can hear it. I'm just going to play it through the mic from my phone. I'll play it once and then I will talk about what I think I hear and then I'll play it again. And there's a lot of crickets because it is summer in Tennessee and that's what happens. So I'm going to play it real quick. Hear that? Okay. So I'm going to play it one more time before I say what I'm hearing. Hear that? Okay. Actually, let's Phil, what do you hear? Let's do
Yeah.
that
So
one.
when we played it off air, it definitely sounds, because it's a little bit clearer off air for sure. But it sounds like, because you can hear the crickets in the front and the front and the background. It sounds like, to me, I described it as like someone having like a metal pipe or something, and you're on like next to a chain link fence, and you're dragging the pipe across the chain link fence. Like it sounds like a metal noise or something, but it's like a ting 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 ting, kind of like that kind of a noise. That's the best way I could describe it. What do you think? What did the noise sound like to you?
So yeah, he described it as rocks clicking together, and I can totally hear that. But that's what he said first. So that's why I got that in my head. Yeah, I totally get the fence or something like raking across a fence, like a chain link fence. Like you take a stick or something, just down the chain link fence. I get that. Also, the experience I had with Tony Merkel when we were filming Sasquatch and the Missing Man, it kind of reminds me of that predator clicking sound, which was very, very weird. But yeah, so I've got like a little tin here in my knife, so it's like that's not that does not make the sound like I thought it would. Maybe my wallet. That's what I hear. Kind of something like that.
Yeah, interesting. And this is in the middle of the woods too, which is very, very strange. So yeah, very, very weird. You don't really know what to make of that.
Yeah.
Now, when you were out there, have you gone over? You did investigations, right?
Yeah. I did one investigation. I recorded it. It's on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. But like I said, there wasn't really much activity, and for some reason, I don't know why. I think maybe my camera. I think the camera died before I got to the point where I saw the tree structure. But that was the most compelling part. If you go to our Instagram page, it's on there in all its full res glory, which is just a picture from my phone. I'm trying to pull it up right now so I can show you guys. But yeah, it's definitely not, I would say 100% it's not man-made. And I don't see how like a storm or something can make it. It's everything's kind of really intertwined and twisted together, and it's just weird, like for real. I'm supposed to go back over there. I've been talking to him. He had like vacation Bible school last week with his kids, so he wasn't able to have me out. Gosh, I'm trying to find this. I cannot find it now.
Kevin
Anyways,
also has dropped a green apple hot sauce as well, just to fill
oh
in the
really?
gaps while you're waiting to
Okay,
find that.
that's awesome. Okay, here it is. Here it is, guys. I wish you could see it better. It's reflecting my screen,
I can see. Yep.
but it's
Oh
like,
yeah. That's I've seen people say like that's Bigfoot stuff
yeah,
before.
yeah.
A buddy of
Trying to
mine,
zoom
Banter with
in.
Richie B, send me a screenshot of that.
Yeah, but isn't
And
that weird?
that is weird.
Everything's like twisted around and
Mm-hmm.
like, I mean, that's
Yeah.
definitely, and that's his ATV trail. This was like blocking the trail. So that's even stranger.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've heard. I mean, like I said, my buddy Banty with Richard B, he's like a big Bigfoot guy, and he says that Bigfoot do that kind of stuff, make those kind of structures and stuff. And I've seen exactly those same things in his videos and some of the stuff he's done where he's encountered, or at least
Yeah.
says he's encountered Bigfoot, which I believe him. He seems a very truthful guy. So I think that's interesting. So the correlations there is interesting, and then you get, which sounds like some sort of metal knocking of some kind, coming from somewhere, which is not supposed to be there. So that's kind of interesting. Of course, naysayers would be like, "Oh, that's just a human out there. That's just a human. That's just someone playing pranks or this, that, and the other thing." And I guess that's possible, but to what end? I guess I would say,
Yeah.
what's the
And this
point?
is Tennessee, and a lot of people, are
Carry guns. Yeah,
well
it's a
armed.
very, very different environment than in Massachusetts.
Yeah. So if you're going to be coming on somebody's property, then you better watch out. That was
Yeah,
my text
absolutely.
going to you.
Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna throw this on whatchamacallit real quick to see if we can I'll throw it up on the screen in a minute.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, we can move right on to the next thing, whatever.
Yes. So the next thing is a guest we had on a few weeks ago, and we've been talking back and forth a little bit offline. I'm trying to pull it up. Hold on. Got to go to our Instagram. So Daniel, you remember Daniel Swarthos?
Yep.
Swarthout.
Yep.
So he has been having a lot of really weird activity. And I told him I'm going to have him back on. He's going to release a video on YouTube, I think, himself about it. But man, it's just strange. Something's really been affecting his animals. I don't want to go into too much detail because I want him to tell his own story. But yeah, it sounds really, really intense, to say the least. He just asked me, he's like, "Hey, have you ever heard of dogs getting sick around supernatural things?" And he wanted me to check and see if anyone's ever heard of that. Essentially, something happened last Tuesday night, and his dogs have been started just throwing up everywhere, and he doesn't know what happened. And his story, there was that entity that was following him and appearing in his house and stuff. And then now it seems to be affecting his animals. Have you ever heard of anything like that?
No, I haven't heard anything like that. That is kind of strange. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, nothing specific that would specifically go after animals like that or make animals sick after coming in contact with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't think
it's
I've ever heard
very
of anything
weird.
like that before. Have you?
I have not. I told him that I would, reach out and see if I could hear if I've heard of anything or if anyone has heard of anything. But I just figured I would, talk about it here, and then maybe I don't think we have anyone scheduled for next week, and I'm gonna see if he maybe wants to come on next week and and discuss it because it seems pretty terrifying what he's going through right now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I can imagine. Yeah, that sounds like nothing I've ever dealt with before. That's kind of weird. Yeah, I'd be
Yeah.
interested to see exactly what's going on. Yeah, because that is really weird. I do have this picture real quick. I don't know if this
Oh
will
yeah.
work, but here we go.
There it
There it
is.
is.
Okay,
Yeah,
guys,
interesting.
everyone in the chat, what do you think? Have you ever seen anything like this? I mean, this is definitely strange because you have the one branch arced over, and then you have the two X's, and all these like smaller branches look, they're kind of woven together a little bit. I don't know. It's very weird to say the least. And as you
Yeah,
can see,
dude.
there's a trail. The trail goes right through there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, either way, it's definitely intentional.
Yeah.
You can't. And Anti says no. He's never seen anything like it.
Hmm.
Yeah, that is interesting. But yeah, I've definitely seen something like that. Our Bantu River GB has like stuff like that all the time that he posts and stuff. He had one in his yard, so seems to be a correlation between that and Bigfoot. So
Yeah.
definitely interesting, man. Definitely something to keep an eye on for sure.
Yeah. And like I said, hopefully I'll be getting back over to his place sometime soon. I would say maybe this week, but I don't know. I have a wedding to go to this weekend, this Saturday, so I don't know if I'll be able to. Anyways, weddings are always
Right.
fun though, right?
I don't know. Are they?
It's my good friend Johnny. He is our worship leader at church.
Yeah.
And Lauren, who's actually our pastor's daughter, and they're getting married, and it's gonna be awesome. I play in the band with both of them. She sings also.
Yeah. Are you in the weddings? Or the
No,
wedding?
I'm not. I'm not in the
Okay.
wedding, but I play in the band with both of them. So.
I tell you what, it's much better to just attend a wedding and not be in the wedding than to attend a wedding and have to be in the wedding.
Yeah.
That's when it becomes like, okay, this is not as much fun. But yeah, I don't know. As I get older, I like weddings less and less. You know, at this point, because I've been to so many, it's like, all right, well,
yeah, I get that.
you're like, all right, I've been to, I don't know how many weddings I've been to, but quite a bit. You know what I mean? All your friends get, over the years, once you reach, near our age, which is prime age,
Prime.
a lot of people are married and stuff by that point. You know what I mean? So like at this point, we've gone to countless weddings. Like we couldn't even tell you how many weddings we've been to. So, with that said, I haven't been to one in a few years, so I shouldn't complain. I'll probably have to go to a few soon.
Yeah. Hey, I don't know if Kevin's still on here, but I just thought about this because we had talked about having him on, and he still has not came on the show.
Yeah,
what's up,
elusive.
Kevin?
He's an elusive creature.
An elusive creature.
I will say Kevin will be coming down Massachusetts at least August 1st, 2nd, or 3rd, one of the days. I don't know which day, because we're announcing it right here. I've announced it kind of on Exploring with Phill a little bit here and there. If you're really paying attention, then you've seen it. I haven't made an official video just announcing this particular thing, but here it is. So for the whole month of July, I'm going to be going to the Huckamuck Swamp every single day.
What?
Every single day. So at least 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, whatever it is. I drive by it. Usually I drive by it almost every single day coming home from work.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a place I could easily stop in, quick 15 minutes here or there. And so leading up to, I do that all month long, leading up to the end of the month, after the month's over, July's over, 31 days in the Huckamuck Swamp. August 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, 3 different days, 3 different locations, 3 different investigations in the Huckamuck Swamp to kind of like tie it all off. Because I was thinking, it would be cool to go there every single day, build it up, and then have it at the end just like a huge day into night investigation 3 days in a row. Maybe it'll kick up some paranormal activity going there so many times. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Nonetheless, it'll be interesting. So that's why I was asking you what you were doing first, second, third, because that's why.
Yeah. So I just saw the chat over here. I was looking. That sounds awesome. I hope I can join you. But so this Anti is talking about the squonk. is that a Massachusetts legend too, or is that Pennsylvania?
I have never heard of the squonk, to be
Okay,
honest with you. I've never heard of it.
somewhere up north, and I didn't know if that was maybe the Huckamuck had anything to do with that. That's why I was asking.
As far as I know, no, I've never heard of a squonk type legend in the Huckamuck Swamp. As far as what I
Okay.
know, Bridgewater Triangle. I mean,
Hmm.
who knows? There very well could be, but yeah, I'm not particularly sure where that comes from. To be honest with you, I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know if you've ever seen the cryptid map of like the United States. Um, I'll be honest, I don't know 80% of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like when people say Pukwudgie and like they never heard of Pukwudgie before. I'm like, I don't blame them. You know what I mean? If I wasn't in Massachusetts, I probably wouldn't know them either. You
Yeah.
know, so like there is like an idea to like centralize kind of cryptids and stuff to this day, which is kind of strange. You know, wherever that squonk is from, you know, it's probably like a big deal in that little area. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's strange how that works. But then
I
again,
th
there's some other cryptids that you hear about, and you're like, does anyone know about this thing?
Yeah,
You know what I
I know.
mean? You're like, did someone just make this up? Okay, here we go. We get some information from the Pennsylvania people. Squonk is Pennsylvania's state cryptid. Okay,
Oh,
see?
nice.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. That makes sense. You know, I spent some time in Pennsylvania and lived there for a while, so I should probably know that one. That's okay.
Yeah. I
Um,
talked about it, whenever I had, gosh, I wanna say Kevin now. Kevin, your name's in my head. Is his name Kevin? No. The guy that made the movie.
Kevin's in your mind though.
Yeah, I keep saying Kevin. I think his name begins with a K too. Anyways,
Chris? Wasn't it
Chris.
Chris?
Yeah, Chris.
It's not his
Um,
does his name really Yeah, it does. That's right.
yeah, it starts yeah,
Yeah,
Chris with a K.
that's right.
Um,
That's right.
yeah, but he was saying, asked me what the weirdest cryptid I had ever heard of, and the squonk was the one I brought up because it's like this little pig, weird looking thing. So
That's right. That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's definitely one of those weird ones for sure. Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if like if that's one of those ones that is actually real or not. You know, I guess people say the same thing about the Pukwudgie as well. So
yeah. So I want to get back to your month of madness is what I'm calling it. That's a good name. You need to you need to use that.
I love it. I'll
Exploring
take
with
it.
Phil's month of madness.
Yeah.
um, yeah, but I mean, gosh, I hope I can. I probably can't come up there, but I really would enjoy to come up there for the final few trips to the Huckamuck to end the month of madness.
Dude, hell yeah. Absolutely. Just because like I said, I just think it's unprecedented.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone's ever done that. And I have to give a shout out to Nicole. Nicole's the one that actually even thought about she's the one that came up with the idea. And I'm like, yeah, that's a fantastic idea. I mean, it's gonna be challenging, don't get me wrong. It's gonna be hard to do it every single day, even though if I just do it for 10 minutes a day or whatever. But um I think it'll be great content, number one, and it'll be interesting to see if I can get some awesome evidence just by being there every single day
yeah, that sounds really
for
cool.
31 days, you know.
Yeah,
Um Yeah, yeah, and I'm gonna try to do different parts of the Huckamuck too, and try to go to different areas. Like, if I get done early one day, then I'll go to an area where I have to, like, really hike out to get there, you know, stuff like that. But if I'm running
hmm
late, then I'll just do an area where I can get out the truck real quick, you know, do a quick little live, and that's the thing, I'm gonna be doing, like, lives every single day, keeping track of this too, you know what I mean? So people can follow the journey all the way along, you know? If you
hmm
ask quite you know, if you have any questions you want me to ask as time goes on, if you're watching the lives, all that kind of stuff, it can be very interactive. So it's gonna be pretty sick, man. I'm excited, man.
that's
I'm
awesome.
really excited to get into it. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be challenging. But before the summer's over, we definitely have to plan a Pennsylvania trip for
Yeah,
sure.
definitely.
And you just have
Um,
you basically because I have almost open availability, pretty much,
yeah,
minus a few dates here or there. But your schedule is probably more
it
compact than
is
mine is.
because of work. I mean, it would have to be on
Yeah.
the weekend.
Yep.
Um, and I'm just trying to think of logistics of how to get there quickly and because I mean I'd probably if Allegiant because that they're usually cheap flights on Allegiant. If they had one that went to like Philly or something, maybe that's a
Right.
possibility. Um, I don't know. Because where is because we talked about Pinhurst, right? Is that what we were
Yeah.
talking about doing?
Yeah, Penhurst, yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
Penhurst, yep. Yep, and they do stuff pretty much all summer long.
Yeah.
Yes, pretty much all summer long, uh, and then obviously gearing up towards, like, Halloween and stuff, that's when they get the busiest. Like, I like to go in, like, summertime, like August, just because it's kinda before Halloween really starts gearing up when people start thinking about doing, like, spooky things.
Mm-hmm.
Because you get a lot of during Halloween time, you get a lot of casual people that aren't really into it or whatever, but in the summertime, it's a lot smaller, the groups, and then, by the end of it, usually it's just us,
Yeah.
which is really nice because, it's better than being in a group of people that are like, talking the whole time or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's never good.
No,
You
not
need
at all.
silence.
Yeah, dude. And Penhurst is such a cool spot. And depending how many days we have, Gettysburg's close by. If not, Philly's really close by. There's
Yeah.
a bunch of spots in Philly. I know a bunch of spots. I used to lived out there. So yeah, a bunch of cool spots and great food. So it'll be a sick time, man.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Mhm.
And someone told me, or not told me, asked me to go to gosh, the place is slipping my mind. It's Kentucky. It's a sanitarium in Kentucky.
Well,
Um,
Wildwood.
no. I'm looking at
Oh, was the famous one, right?
yeah, it's really famous.
Dang it, dude! I
It is,
just had it
it
in
is
my mind. Uh,
most haunted places in Kentucky. I'm looking it up.
Waverly Hills.
Waverly Hills, yep. That's it.
Mhm.
Yeah, someone asked me to go up there, which would be really cool to do. Because I heard that place is insane.
Hey, if you can get to Waverly Hills, you know, I might try to make the trip. I mean, it's a little bit of a drive, but if I could drive, then I would.
Yeah, how far is that? I mean, is it
From me,
kind
from
of
driving,
halfway between? Is it halfway?
I'm
Maybe?
Kentucky. It's a little bit short. Should be a little bit shorter than Tennessee, but my guess, I'm gonna guess like at least 10 to 12 hours. Hold
Oh,
on,
dang, man.
I'm gonna look up where Waverly Hills, right?
Yeah, Waverly Hills.
Let's look it up on the fly. Do. Google is thinking. It is thinking. Well, it's like, whoa, you sure,
Google.
bro? Oh my god. Uh, 15 hours.
Oh my gosh, that's quite a drive. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's very, very far.
How far is it from
Yes,
me?
I know, right?
Um,
Yeah, the good question. That's got to be a little bit of a drive.
let's see.
I
It's
don't know,
calculating.
depending where in Kentucky
Ooh,
it is. I don't know where in Kentucky it
it's
is.
so far. It's so far, guys. I don't know if I'll be able to make it. It's too far to drive. It's 3 hours and 48 minutes.
That's not bad, dude. That's not
No,
bad.
that's so
Next time
close.
I'm come to Tennessee, we have to go.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. We definitely have to go.
Yeah, that would be an awesome trip to do. And
Yeah.
maybe we can convince one of our other friends to go with us.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
I think I know which one you're talking about,
Yeah.
but I don't know. You
Uh,
never know. But yeah.
he's more into cryptids than ghost, though.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, God forbid.
Yeah.
I try to tell him there's cryptids where I'm at, he doesn't, I got portals, I got, I don't know what he's waiting for, but yeah. So,
Oh, did you look in the chats? There's a message for you.
oh, I see that. Let me see. Do.
But
Yeah, why don't
guys,
you vamp while I look it up?
yeah, I'm going to vamp. So, guys, just let you know, if you are listening to this on the audio version, you're missing some of the funness of the video portion of this conversation. And now, since we're doing the live, it's really fun. You get to interact with us and just have a good old time with AFK discussions. Shameless plug.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, I love that. So yeah, our friend Laura messaged me and she said that they rented a Penhurst out September 9th.
Dang.
And I think if I'm reading this correctly, I think she's got a spots available. So that's interesting. So that's intriguing to me. So yes,
It is to me too.
So we'll have to we'll definitely be talking off air about that for sure because yeah, I definitely would love to get back in there. And if she has it for the whole night, that's even better. That's even better.
I know
That means
that
like
would be.
free reign of places that hopefully that I only got into back in 2008 when it was abandoned and no, when I could just do whatever I wanted.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude. That
Where
place is
where's
absolutely unbelievable.
Pinhurst in
Spring
PA?
City,
What Spring City?
Spring City, Pennsylvania. Yeah.
I was just looking to see
Yeah.
how far it is.
Oh, it is from I'm actually curious. For me, it's like 6 hours, 6-7 hours, depending on the drive.
So let's see.
I know. I almost got into while you looked that up. I almost got into the Conjuring house as well. Kevin's going to the
Oh
Conjuring
my
house.
gosh, dude.
I
Really?
know. Dude. I almost got in. Kevin tried his hardest. It's not his fault. He tried his hardest. They didn't have another spot, and they were supposed to like mention if they were going to add someone, but they didn't, so they wouldn't let them add someone. So
Oh,
as of right now, I'm out. But you never know. Maybe someone cancels last minute. They have an opening. I can buy my way in again. So because there's a waiting list for that place.
it's not that bad, dude. It's 9 hours and 23 minutes
That's
from my
not far,
house.
dude. That's not
No,
far at all.
not bad.
That's not bad. And Gettysburg is about an hour west from Spring City
Yeah.
or so, maybe a little bit longer, depending how busy it is. But yeah, not bad at all, dude.
No.
And then September's a nice time to go. And yeah, we might have to take her up on that. So I'm
Yeah.
writing that down right now because we'll have to definitely keep that in mind, dude, because that would be incredible. AFK discussions, exploring with Phill, Laura, Midnight in the Mountains. I mean, pretty
Shoot.
sick.
You
Pretty
couldn't
sick.
ask for a better group than that.
Pretty sick. I mean, I'm already seeing the thumbnail now. I could see Jason being shocked at seeing a full body apparition. I could just see it now. Yeah, and that's his natural reaction. People are like, "Oh, he's faking that." No, 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 no. I've seen it. Yeah, that's what his face looks like when he's shocked. We saw when we saw that bear walk across us in front of the car, and
That
it
was
looked into
crazy.
our
Though.
eyes,
Gosh.
and I was like, "Oh my god." And then shortly after that, then we see a couple wolves that want us for dinner. So,
Guys, if you don't know what we're talking about, go to Exploring with Phil's page on on YouTube and check it out. It's the I can't remember what you named it, but it's
the Koi
the
Wolf
Smoky Mountains,
Encounter, Smoky like Bud Ogle Cabin or something. Was
Bud
it that
Ogle
one?
Cabin. Yeah,
Yeah, Bud Ogle
but go
Cabin.
check that
Yeah.
out. I don't think we have videos of the bear though, do we?
No, no. You know
No.
what we were doing? If you go back in Instagram back far enough, if I can find it, I'll try to repost it.
Oh yeah, we did
But
live.
we were doing a live
Yeah.
at that moment, so I think we were filming our faces, so you can see our reactions to seeing the bear. But
Yeah.
we couldn't flip the camera around fast enough to get the bear. But it was a big bear, man.
Yeah.
Just like John Candy says, it's a big bear. And it, like I said, it looked into my soul and did not care and just kept on going.
Yeah. Yeah. That was crazy.
Yeah, man. I was like, oh my God, terrifying, especially when you consider me and Jason just got in the car.
Yeah. And another thing that's weird about that,
Uh,
that now hindsight is really weird. Because we were doing the live,
Yep.
and then
Yeah.
Tony was commenting on the live with us, Tony Merkel. And we were kind of talking to him a little bit.
Mhm.
And then now he's came out and talked about it a little bit of his experience. I'm not going to go into it, but he had an experience, crazy experience, pretty much right after we saw the bear.
Oh, really?
Remember,
Jeez, how
you
weird is that?
remember, because you talked to him
Yeah.
the next day and he told you about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was an eventful weekend for
Yeah,
not
it
only
was.
him but for us too, because that was
Yeah.
also Elkmont weekend as well.
Yeah, it was. Gosh,
You know what I
that
mean?
Elkmont.
So all around, dude. I don't even know if there might be something I never even told before. So I don't know if I might have showed you in person, or I just showed Tony in person. I never posted it because I forgot about it, but it's still on my phone. After I left to go do Tony's show, early in the morning, outside on my lawn, right in front of me out here, there's like a little area where it's all nice, and we've reclaimed some land. We have like a pallet fence and stuff that goes across. And so we have a camera that looks outside this window because we had a table stolen. So now we have a camera there just in case anyone takes anything or whatever. So the camera kicked on because there was a moth in the window. And so it was recording because it's like a motion thing. It only records when it picks up motion. So it just happened to be recording. So in the yard, it looks like some sort of an object that looks like it has legs, kind of walks through the fence, not even over the fence, like through the fence, walks through the yard and kind of like dissipates and disappears. Kind of like an apparition kind of a thing. And this is the morning I leave to go to Tennessee to go tell my story about everything that's been happening in the Bridgewater Triangle and stuff. Very, very weird, very, very crazy, weird. But yeah, if I can find that clip, I'll do like a real or fake on that, because it's just it's such a weird clip, especially when I'll do like a side by side of what this area looks like, and just the way this thing comes, it literally walks through the fence, which is impossible. So I don't know how or what that could be that would do that. So very, very creepy and weird. So yeah,
that's seriously weird, man. Definitely.
Yeah, very, very weird. I was like, that is weird. I don't know. And then you like think you fast forward to like a few months ago, the wisps thing that happened over when we were doing the podcast. I thought about that the other day.
Yeah, that gosh.
It's weird, dude. And not to get weird, I deleted it so it doesn't exist. So you just have to take my word for it. I was doing a real or fake in the other room, and I was like recording, and this little orb like flies towards me and like goes like towards my head, and right at that exact moment I like get confused and I like forget what I was talking about for a split second. I'm like, oh, let me start over.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm like, how weird is that, bro?
Did you so you saw it like on a camera, but you didn't?
Yeah, on the camera.
Okay.
Yeah, on the camera after, because I was like editing the footage, looking through it to be like, oh, yep, this is my first take. And I remember seeing the little orb, and I'm like, I was like, I'm not going to think too far into this one, and just like kind of deleted it. And then of course the wisp thing happens a few months later, and I'm like, oh, well, that's kind of weird, dude. So yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't know what to make of that. But yeah, it's just something that I just, now as we're talking about stuff, things that like that happen that you think about that you don't, I don't know, or just don't really give two mentions or think twice about in the moment, and then later on you're like, oh, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
it's very weird.
Yeah,
oh, guys, also while we're talking, just chit-chatting here, I just want to let everyone know our good friend Mr. Joel Thomas released his new podcast. Well, I was going to say Kill the Rabbits.
That's the name of the show?
No, it's not.
What a monster. What a monster. It is unbeliable.
Oh man, it's called
we're supporting this guy, Jason. What kind
it's called Free the Rabbits. I don't know why I wanted to say Kill the Rabbits. Anyways, but I worked on the artwork for the show, so that's so funny that I wanted to say Kill the Rabbits. Anyways, so go check that out. It's if you know Joel, he brings the knowledge, and his show does not disappoint. So his first episode dropped on Friday, so make sure you can go check it out.
Yeah, no, he's awesome. Please check out it. I'm sure it's going to be well thought out, well researched, incredible. I haven't yet listened to it myself, so I'm excited for when that first drops. I did see that Tony, is Tony doing a simulcast of his first episode on his network too, or did he just have Joel on? Because I did see that an episode dropped of, I don't know what it is. I haven't listened to it yet, so I don't know what it is. But I would imagine he at least had Joel on.
Yeah, he had it was a special.
Okay, gotcha.
Wednesday episode. Yeah, he had Joel on.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, so go listen to that. Go check that Confessionals episode out, and then go subscribe to Joel. Support him. He was just on a few episodes ago.
Yeah,
kind of the project that he was talking about. So, that'll be absolutely incredible. And looks like Anti Nintendo here is a huge fan here. Yeah. So
why don't you like Nintendo? Anti Nintendo?
Great question. Maybe is he a Sony guy? Is he I don't know. It's a good question. Maybe
you have some explaining to do. Anti Nintendo.
He's been watching this whole time, so I got to give him credit for at least sticking with us the whole time. And
you have some explaining to do. Hold on. You have some. My Switch is very angry with you right now. It's over here crying in the corner. All my Switch family is, because my daughter's Switch is in here too right now, because I had to charge it for her. The Stitch Switch is crying too. The mommy and daddy are crying.
How many of those do you have back there?
I just have 2 in my room, but we have 4 switches.
Yeah.
One for each kid, and then of course, I'm a big nerd, so I got to have a Switch too.
Right. So when was the last time I was on? Who was our guest? Oh, was it Chris Holm? Is that the last episode I was on? Conspiracy Theory
Uh,
with Chris?
I think so. Yeah, yeah,
That was our last one? Okay.
yeah.
Did we I don't see it. It's just like time's so weird. I don't know when like I release things and put things out and when they come out. Did you see my update on the evil Amy? Have we talked about that?
We have not talked about it, and I wanted to get some info. I haven't watched it yet,
Okay.
but I still like
Yeah,
Nintendo
so
games, just not the company. Okay, okay, dude, you're okay. You're okay. I play PC mainly, so I was just giving you a hard time.
as you do to your fans.
Yeah, we joke around.
That's
That's
right.
it.
That's right.
It's the
That's right.
camaraderie,
Yep.
camaraderie with us and our fans,
That's
or
right.
not. Not even fans. They're just people who enjoy listening to people talk to each other and interact.
I mean, I
They're
like to
they're
think of them
not
as my fans.
they're not spinning objects to blow wind on you, Phil.
Yeah, that's right.
They don't cool you at all.
Yep, and evil Amy is back. So yeah, for those who haven't seen that, well, Evil Amy, the video is a YouTube video I made. For those who don't remember that video or haven't seen it, my friend Christine had an experience in the 90s, and
Mm,
she had, I remember that's
yeah.
that video. So she had an experience in the 90s where she's out in her backyard in the woods, like drawing on a notebook or whatever. And then something basically she gets, it feels uneasy, and then basically, long story short, something blows, like takes her hair and pulls it on end, and tells her to whispers get out in her ear, and that's basically she like runs, throws a notebook, never goes back into the forest again, the woods again. And so I go back out there, investigate, got a crazy amount of evidence out there. One of them, it really pertained to, mostly kind of pointed to like one particular entity, which identified itself as Amy twice, kind of like evil Amy, sort of wanted blood. There was like a knife slice, wanted to hurt people. That was very, very negative,
Mm.
right? And so in the moment, the video comes out. I mean, it was a crazy investigation. Good, awesome video, and it kind of validated her experiences she had as a teenager, which I think is really cool to be like, yeah, you're not crazy. There is something kind of weird and creepy going on in this forest. So as I was putting together some presentation stuff for the Bridgewater Triangle presentation I did up in the Florentine Fest, I was going over some Huckamuck Swamp stuff, and then I saw a couple correlations, and I saw that because back probably over a year and a half ago, I got all these responses that kept on saying removal, like over and over and over. And
Mhm.
so I was just kind of like, well, I just kind of put two and two together and was like, who removed bodies from the swamp? And without skipping a beat, it said a witch. And then I asked,
Hmm.
who's the witch? What's the witch's name? And then it says Amy.
Oh my
And
gosh,
not
dude.
only Amy once, but Amy twice. And so it says her name multiple times. And then not only that, I pressed the question again, and I'm like, hey, who removed bodies from the swamp? And it says her men, and all this stuff. Her men, Amy, evil, witch, that kind of
Oh
stuff, which I
gosh,
think is
dude.
such a weird correlation. And so to give you some like how close these places are, it's not that far away from each other. I think she grew up in Bridgewater. The Huckamuck Swamps in this particular area is in West Bridgewater. I mean, but still not that far away. I think it's an interesting correlation for sure. I mean, obviously, it's just weird. It's definitely weird. I would like to ask some more questions in the Huckamuck about that particular thing and see what comes up. But weird, right?
So, okay, I'm putting stuff together now. So, how close is the Conjuring House to Bridgewater?
It's probably like at least 40 miles. Let me look it up proper while you've
40
talked.
miles.
Because give me your theory.
What about across the swamp? Is it closer distance?
Oh, the yeah,
Because
like
it's part of the triangle. So if you drew a straight line, is it closer than like driving roads?
it's like her house and the triangle, the Huckamuck Swamp is definitely close. It's probably
No, the Conjuring House
from the Huckamuck Swamp
from
area.
her house or Huckamuck. Yeah, either way. I mean, because it's in the Bridgewater Triangle. The Conjuring House is.
No, it's actually see that's you know where that comes from? That comes
Where
from
does that
that
come from?
interview. That comes to that interview those guys did on Tony's show.
Oh, okay.
Um, I don't remember the guys that went to the Conjuring House because
Yeah,
they
yeah.
mentioned the Bridgewater Triangle. So just to give you an idea, it is 50 minutes highway to get. So it's 46 miles away.
Mm,
So it's like
okay.
it's not that close. It's definitely outside the Bridgewater Triangle for sure.
Okay. I was
So
just
yeah, I don't know.
thinking because I didn't know if there was like because the Conjuring House, they said, there's if in the movie, I don't know all the lore and legend about the Conjuring House, but there's supposedly there was a witch or something,
Oh,
and I
interesting.
didn't know if that correlated with this Amy or what happened in the Huckamunk.
Yeah, I mean, if there is a name, I'd be interested to see what the name was. That's for sure. Or
Yeah,
any name, any Amy name with any sort of witchcraft ties. I'm not sure what time period this would even be. But yeah, very, very strange for sure. Definitely weird, especially when you consider the Amy and the witch stuff I got was over a year and a half before this other evil Amy stuff.
hmm. That's very interesting.
I mean, there could be two different Amy's, two different witches. Both of them are Amy's, both of them are witches, but that's kind of strange, I think, to have that kind of correlation and
Watch
not be
out
the
if you
same.
know an Amy, she could be a witch.
Yeah, especially it seemed like a very strong entity too. I mean, one of the EVPs I got there was at the in the woods at Evil Amy video was "Look at Me,"
Hmm.
which I think is kind of strange.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so they're definitely negative for sure. Definitely negative. Just an interesting correlation I made while like preparing for that presentation, which I just thought was interesting enough to share.
Yeah,
Um, just because it's interesting. And oh, not only that, um, there's like a demonic element to this as well. Because when I asked about Evil Amy, they also said demon as well.
oh man, there you go.
So it just could be using the name Amy, and it's not Amy, but it's just that's how it's identifying itself. It's like, yep,
Yeah,
I'm this demonic entity or whatever. So, which definitely could be possible based on some of the spirit box responses. And not only that, the evil Amy thing, just to wrap this up, this is kind of like a really strange thing. Actually, something that's also happened to me recently that I'll tell you about. That's for a future video that's not even going to come out yet because it's a tease. So in the evil Amy video, I'm walking back in the woods and I literally say, evil out of nowhere, right?
yeah,
Right after that, EVP. I forget what the EVP is, but whatever it was, it's like somebody's name or something, Noah maybe or something like that. So it's kind of strange. It's like I almost knew that that entity was there or something or whatever, and kind of was like, oh, evil's here, kind of thing.
yeah.
Very, very weird. Fast forward to this video that I'm doing for the beginning of July, Namaskit Village. It's an old Wampanoag Native American village near where I live or where they used to live and stuff. Now it's like a conservation land that's just recently opened up. So hardly anyone goes there. So I went there on two separate occasions, caught a lot of EVPs, a lot of evidence. But one of the
Really?
weirdest thing, yeah, most of it was like a lot of words and stuff I don't understand. Like I think most of it's probably like Wampanoag language or something or Algonquin because there's most of it I don't understand. There's some things that are in English, but not a lot. So one of the things that was in English, as I'm walking through, right, that they have like these pathways that are kind of mowed and cut out and stuff. And so I got to this one area and it's just dead quiet in this one area.
Hmm.
And I'm like, there's something up with this area. So then I loop back around. It's like basically a dead end. So then I come back around. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go to the spot where it was like, kind of dead and kind of quiet because it just seems like it's really creepy right here. And so I go over here and I go to the spot and I'm like, right here. 2 seconds before I say right here, an EVP of a man that says here.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah. So it's like,
that's
it's almost as
crazy.
if he was like being like, yep, this is the spot. This is exactly the spot where you're gonna hear us or where we are or whatever. Um, and then in that video particularly, I got a lot of a few responses that were like, "Pray for us, please help us," stuff like that. A few times towards in one particular area, and not only that, they like yelled my name, which I think is
Oh,
very strange.
yeah, it
Um,
is.
yeah, very, very strange. A very, 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 very interesting video. That'll be out in a few weeks, but something that I've just been like editing recently that I was like, oof, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, that
Um,
is very weird.
right? Definitely. That's what I thought. Anti Nintendo's got some theories here. Maybe like Evil Amy, there is an evil Noah but I could be wrong, dude. I would not be surprised, to be honest with you. Both of those, that the woods behind her house is definitely creepy and definitely has one of those weird vibes. But Namaska Village had its own kind of vibe, reminded me of the Huckamuck Swamp, just kind of like eyeballs on you the whole time. But yeah, interesting spot. I can't wait for people to see that, just because it's just a spot I don't think anyone's ever investigated before. So, yeah, dude, it was very, very cool, and they seemed to like me, so that was nice.
That's cool. It seems like
Yeah.
everyone likes you, though. I mean, anywhere. The only thing that they don't like is your beard. The Puckwudgies hate your beard for some reason.
Yeah, and I don't know why. I don't know what that's about. Luckily, that's kind of cooled off recently. That was like a last summer kind of thing. Where was it last summer already? Wow, maybe it was.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy. It's
Yeah.
when you were up here. Remember it happened.
Yeah,
to us
that's
too.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, then that must have been April. No, when? No, that was the
No,
second time I came.
Yeah,
So
it
that
was
was
in
like
like
November or
November.
October.
Yeah.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, crazy, dude. Time flies. And
It does.
yes, Puckwudgies are very picky. They are very
They are.
picky. And we are right there with you, bro. Give me that tinfoil hat, he says. And I agree.
Yeah, I need a tinfoil hat, definitely.
Awesome,
Speaking
man.
of tinfoil hat, shout out to Tinfoil Hat Podcast. You need to have us on, Mr. Sam Tripoli. We'll come on and talk weirdness with you.
Oh, I should have asked if I could share this. Okay, an anonymous paranormal investigator, because I haven't asked him to share the story yet. Like, I won't tell you too many details of the story, but I just think it's a crazy Bridgewater Triangle story to kind of end this night, because it's just typical Bridgewater Triangle. So this guy, he reached out to me. I've been on one of his shows before, and him and his buddies were going to come down to the Bridgewater Triangle to kind of investigate some of the hot spots and stuff. So, they go to check into this hotel, and ends up being like this awful place where like drugs are at. This is like the whole fiasco, just like a really awful place. So they had to like change all their plans last minute. They finally go, and then they go to the Freetown State Forest to investigate. Now they're like behind schedule. They end up having an absolutely just a crazy, awful experience there. Like, I wouldn't say demonic attacks because I wasn't there, but what he described to me sounded like demonic attacks, oppression, things making people feel like trash, mood swings, rage, feelings of being followed, like just really, really dark stuff he was telling me. And I was like, dude, that's crazy. I was like, I'm not surprised, because it's the darkest spot in the Bridgewater Triangle. And like, I've had, even in the Bridgewater Triangle documentary, there's a whole scene where a woman's up there and they're doing a paranormal investigation at night, and she literally gets possessed on top of the ledge. So it's a place where dark stuff has not only taken place, but or continues to take place. So I wasn't surprised when he told me all that stuff. But then they had all these like mishaps and all these like awful things happening along the way during that first night in Freetown. And so then he messaged me, and he's like, "Hey, we're trying to find all these spots in Huckmunk. We can't find them. We haven't had any luck. Yesterday was a nightmare, and like just like an awful." So I helped him out. I gave him some maps, and showed him a couple hot spots, and they had some cool activity in the Huckamuck Swamp, which was a lot lighter than the stuff that happened to him in the Freetown State Forest. But he said he heard two separate occasions a woman singing in the Huckamuck Swamp. Yep. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like I could definitely see that. And another time he heard something else. I can't remember exactly what. And so they definitely heard stuff when they were out there. So I was happy about that. But I mean, he was telling me about all the other stuff, all like the mishaps and just like things going wrong, and just like all these bad things over and over happening. That's happened to a lot of people that have looked into the Bridgewater Triangle, or have done books on the Bridgewater Triangle, or like they experienced like flat tires, or one guy's car rolled into a ditch, into a ravine when it shouldn't have. And I've had mishaps there where I've like lost equipment, or I went magnet fishing in the Huckamuck once, and my magnet fell off. It wasn't even supposed to. It was tied on with the thing, and I go to pull it in, it's off. So so like things like that happen. So I just wanted to share that, just because I was like a crazy story. And if I can get him to come on, I'll have him come on and tell that whole story, because I think it's crazy. But I haven't asked him to come on. But I will though.
Yeah, that sounds definitely crazy. I don't know. I don't want to be in the forest and hear like women singing. That would totally freak me out, you know.
Mhm.
Just because the possibility, oh yeah, it could be ghosts, but it also could be like witches trying trying to find someone to sacrifice, and I don't want to be any part of that, you know. Nope. No,
Yeah.
thank you.
No, absolutely not. Definitely not. Pass on all that.
Yeah. Good.
But yeah, just typical Bridgewater Triangle stuff. One more comment for Anti Nintendo. I could have seen a goblin, but I maybe have seen things, but I heard breathing that I could not explain.
Yeah, that's
Um,
weird, man.
and I'll tell you what, I've caught in a video recently, I caught an EVP of like someone breathing in kind of like laboredly, like a just like
Yeah.
that. Exactly like that. Like or as if like when someone's crying or something and they breathe in after they're like trying not to cry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking
And,
about? Like that sound?
yeah, yeah,
That
definitely.
exact sound.
And we caught breathing. Remember that one video we did on the podcast? I think it was one of your first episodes with just you and
Yeah,
I,
that's
and
right.
we
That's
heard
right.
something breathe into the mic on my end, which
Yeah,
was really
right.
weird. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, super, super bizarre. So the when you start looking at the paranormal starts looking into you. I said that many
Yeah.
times, and that's just a fact. You cannot ignore that. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, so
100%.
yeah, absolutely. But this has been an awesome episode. I mean, we're just kind of like a more relaxed episode, just kind of getting back in the swing of things. But it's just because it's been so long since we've been apart. But yeah, awesome episode.
Yeah.
Next week, do we have a guest lined up for next week officially yet, or was
Um,
it gonna be a
I
surprise?
I I'm going to try to get Chris on. I'm going to talk to him, see if he'll come on and talk about the things that have been going on with him. I don't know why I say Chris, Daniel Swarth out, to
Yep,
see if he'll come on.
yep.
Who is Chris? Chris is the guy with the movie that I couldn't
Yes,
think of
the
his
movie.
name earlier. Oh
This
my
is what
gosh,
happens when you
I'm
have,
losing
like,
my
a lot
mind.
of people on, like, back to back to back with many different names, so you just think the
Yeah,
names sometimes, like, just get swapped out for the wrong person, and
it does,
dude,
and
I
it
am
doesn't
awful
help.
with names, like, I will remember the conversations, I'll remember their like, people's faces, but with names sometimes, I'm not a names guy, you
Me
know?
neither. Me
Some people
either.
are, like, Nicole's great at remembering people's names. Like, she'll meet someone, she'll be like and then she'll remember their name as we're, like, driving home and we're talking about I'll remember the whole conversation and all that stuff, the name, in
Yeah,
and out.
and also,
I
I
don't know why.
mean, I don't know. We also, I mean, Laura, she's. I told her that we would
Yeah,
get her back on here
we gotta get her
whenever
on here.
you were on here too. So I don't know. Maybe if Daniel don't come on, Laura, if you're still on here, maybe if you're free next week, maybe we can make that happen. So
Yeah,
yeah, just whatever.
absolutely. No, that'd be nice. Yeah, if you listen to this, you wanna come on, just let us know. We're always looking for guests, that's for sure. And, sometimes what happens is we'll book a lot of guests out in advance, and then we start working through all those guests, and we don't wanna book new ones in advance because 'cause you're like, "Man, that's like a month from now."
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? So you don't wanna, like, overbook because then, like, what if something happens and we're like, "Hey, we
yeah,
wanna talk about this one week, but we have all these guests every single week, so we can't." You know what I mean? Like the
yeah,
Miami alien thing or something,
yeah.
like, when something like that
When
happens,
something like that happens, you need to address it like right away. You
Yeah,
know.
exactly, yeah, because it's not evergreen, people aren't
Yeah.
gonna care about it at, a few weeks from after that moment.
Yeah. One thing, like we had a guest tonight, and that's another thing about booking so far in advance. Because you got to manage all your people and who's coming up next, and make sure you message them to remind them, hey, you're coming on this week. Because that's one thing I didn't touch base with our guest who was coming on tonight, and she was like, oh, I didn't hear from you, so I just thought we weren't doing it. Because I messaged her like, a few hours ago. I was like, hey, you coming on the show still? And she's like,
Yeah,
oh, well. So that was my bad. But
yep,
anyways,
yep, no worries, no worries, we'll work it out, we'll reschedule it, and we'll figure it out.
yeah,
That's for sure.
definitely.
But yeah, absolutely. Let me get everything queued up as we're about to leave here, so I'm like ready for the music and all that.
Ready
All
for the
right,
music.
this has been
That was nice.
this week's episode of AFK Discussions. We'll be back next week.
Back next
Guest
week.
TBD. So get excited for that TBD, and we will see you guys next week.
Peace.
Peace.